Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do another reading for you guys. This reading is going to be a tea reading for the divine masculine and divine feminine. This tea here is representing the divine feminine, and this tea here is representing the divine masculine. So you'll have to watch it and see how you resonate with the energies. The divine feminine today is red raspberry leaf and nettles, and the divine masculine is lavender buds with some chamomile. And yeah, before I get started, I'm just wanted to say thank you to everybody because everybody has been very kind and supporting this channel and the work that I've done. Super important for people to send positive energy. So even if you can't donate, even if you just send positive vibes or make a comment or drop a heart in the comments, it really helps boost the energy. Also, sharing these videos, if somebody hasn't subscribed, would help a lot. My subscribes haven't really changed in like 5 years. So anybody that's new that enjoys this video, please subscribe and like this video. It really helps support this channel grow and the work that I'm doing. I am still booking private readings. So if you'd like to book a private reading, you can send a payment. The links are in the description box. All the information to donate is also in the description box. You can donate through Zelle. You can send me like a gift card through my P.O. box if you wanted to do that. And of course, the normal way, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App as well. So I'm just going to jump in here and see what I get. I'm going to start with the divine feminine. I'm going to take a sip first. It's like the perfect temperature. Interesting. This is an interesting reading. Okay, so the first message that wants to come through for the divine feminine is that there's going to be a perspective shift, number one. Number two is you might see things as being like, you might notice at this time at least the things that are not going right in your life. Or she is not seeing the things that you're doing for her. Let's just say you're in a relationship with feminine. Like she might really not appreciate some of the things that you're doing. And she might actually only see or only really point out the negative things. So it's interesting. I'm seeing like little chunks of tea that kind of look like black spots. And to me, that's like, she is really focusing on the negative. She's not necessarily focusing on the positive. Now, if you're watching for yourself, the message here is to really try to focus more on the positive things that are going right in your life and put your energy into those things. So if you have close friends, focus on those close friends. If you have positive things coming through for you, whether it's a good job, or you're picking up work somehow, or your business is good, like whatever it is that's going right in your life, really focus on that at this time. It's interesting. I feel like things will become a lot better when you start focusing on the positive. And I feel like if you're in a relationship, I feel like your relationship will become a lot stronger if you focus less on the negative. It's interesting. I was watching an old TV show, Everybody Loves Raymond, where they go to therapy and they try to work out their issues. And she was basically pointing out how he basically did not offer to help or do as much around the house. And when I think she asked, he gave her, I don't know if it was a hard time or some excuses about not doing it. And so it's sort of like that. Picking up that kind of energy where it's like you might be pointing out to someone what they're doing wrong or what they're not doing in the house or what they're not doing in a relationship. I feel like there's a strong perfectionist energy coming from this feminine where she's really only noticing the negative. She's really only noticing what is not going right. She is not noticing any of the other things that are going well. Like, so if this is you, the message is really to make a list of all the things you're grateful for. This is really about gratitude. And, you know, work on it as far as like in a relationship, work on it in maybe a little bit of a different approach or a different way. To kind of say, hey, like, I didn't like it when you did XYZ, or I don't like it when you don't help out as much as I do, or do as much as I do, kind of thing. And if like you're trying to communicate it, I feel like it's a mixed bag. Like there's mixed energies, meaning like, it almost feels like even if you're communicating it in a positive way, it's still coming across as a negative. And so some of you may be, it's interesting. I'm not posting this for my Whale Called Moon channel, but I'm picking up like a whale metaphor. I used to call it whale syndrome when people really absorbed a lot of negativity. When they were looking for things, you know, the negative things that weren't going right, they would jump on it. You know, they'd resonate. They'd be like, yeah, you know, I can really vibe with with the negative things that you're saying, rather than being like excited about. They would almost ignore the good things that were happening. They would wait for like the negative stuff. It's almost like there is a person that I'm reading for that is attracting some drama, or that is attracting some energies that are just not good. It's sort of like an angry energy that is attracting negative energies. That's what I'm seeing. So I would definitely say for the feminine, the divine feminine, the collective message is to work on putting your money where your mouth is. So like if you say you're going to do something, do it. I also feel like trying to work on your energy, trying to be calmer, trying to work on your stress levels, or just your energy of like, I don't know, sharing or partnership, or less focus on the negative stuff, less focus or waiting for something negative to happen. It's almost like you might, and for some of you who have, especially if you have any Capricorn energy in your chart, you may be attracting challenges, like and be very focused on overcoming those challenges, but also you might be a little bit of addicted to the negative stuff. So you're going to need to really refocus. This reading is about refocusing your energy for the divine feminine. And maybe not being so focused on the negative. I'm seeing, my guides are showing me doing things that where you kind of walk around and you kind of let your mind go. I used to go to this special place called the Museum in New Canaan, Connecticut, with my grandmother. She would take me on these special trips, one-on-one with her when I was young. And we would go to this place called the Museum. And there was also a petting zoo there as well. And we would take like little bits of bread and we would pet the animals and we would go and check out the museum. In that time, like walking around was very memorable. And I remember that. And I don't know why that's coming through here, but some of you feminines need to do that, where you just kind of walk around and you don't like engage in a negative way with anything. You just kind of let your mind go. For some of you, reading would be helpful. I'm seeing books. I also feel like listening to music would be helpful. I feel like you're going to overcome the challenges in your life. It's just like there's almost too much of a focus on it. I feel like a little bit too, for those of you feminines watching, it's a little bit like you're waiting for the pot to boil. And so you need to focus your attention on something else. If there's something you really, really want, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it. I would step away from it. I wouldn't look at it. I would not touch it also. Like, leave it alone for a bit is what I want to say. Leave it alone. Like let it cool off. If you're in a partnership, let them cool off. If you have somebody that you're dating, maybe don't text, don't reach out. Like, I feel like in some regard, things will go better when you don't engage with it. That's what I want to say. Okay, I want to switch to the masculine here. Take a sip here first. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, really good. Really, really good. Okay, so let me look. See what's going on with the masculine. I don't know why, but the word snow globe came through. I'm also kind of seeing like the lavender kind of look, a little bit like as if a snow globe had been shaken up. And when I think of a snow globe, I think of joy. I think of excitement. I think of Christmas time, and I think of gifts. There might be, for some of you masculines, you might be thinking of gifting someone, like the feminine in your life, a gift. Feminines who are watching for a masculine, this masculine is definitely thinking about a gift of some sort. It is meaningful. It has meaning. I'm not sure. See, this is the interesting thing. I'm not sure how these are connecting, because it almost feels like the masculine is not really listening, and they think, okay, if I just gift this feminine something, it'll all go away. Like, like it's just not really realistic. It feels like the snow globe energy also reminds me of like being in a kind of bubble where the masculine is really in their own world. They're really focusing on themselves. They have things around them, but they're not really engaging with those things. It is the opposite here. So the divine feminine is really engaged, right, with everything in her life, and she's seeing like, okay, it's like, holy shit balls, like all kinds of things going wrong, or all the things that are not quite right, all the things that she's got to do, the hoops she's got to jump through, the bills she has to pay, all the problems that, maybe the kids have, and all the problems that the household has. And she's like bearing like all of the burden of the tough stuff, the negative stuff. And we have this masculine here who seems to be, quite honestly, in his own world, and not really even living in this time. Like, they're not on the same page. Like, she's in 2025. He is like in 1995. Okay. He is like really not paying attention to, maybe he's not even paying attention to the time. Like, if she says, okay, like, you need to be at the restaurant by, 7:00, he may or may not show up at all. And he may or may not show up, like, if he shows up, it's going to be like 9:00, maybe. This is a cute message. It's really sweet. I feel like, okay, there's a sweetness coming through this masculine, okay? And the masculine is like, to me, has the energy of like a dog. It's very like, I don't know, like maybe happy-go-lucky, or maybe simple in the sense that they just need like simple things, you know, like food and a place to sleep, or like they don't need a lot of stuff. Some of them, like some of you masculines, if you're watching for masculine, they are single and they have a dog. I'm seeing there's something to do with a dog here, which is very sweet. And also for some of you, this masculine might be thinking about gifting you a dog or like a puppy. I'm seeing a puppy specifically, or getting a new puppy. There's something about a dog here coming through. Like it's almost, I'm seeing this masculine being very attached to a pet. Whether it's a dog or another animal, I feel like they're very attached, or very focused on this pet. It's almost like the pet reminds me, I hate to say this, it reminds me of two things. One, it reminds me of masculines who have problems, I want to say, bonding with people, and they're really better at bonding with dogs, in the sense that they just don't have that ability necessarily, or their priorities are like the divine masculine is not prioritizing the divine feminine here. The divine masculine is very much up in his own world. Maybe he's bonded to a dog, maybe he's not. It feels just like he's not paying attention to her needs. The only person that he's really thinking about is making sure the dog has what it needs. And that's not necessarily helpful for the divine feminine. I also see that the dog reminds me of like a certain type of person. And the type of person that you may be now, you might not be a masculine, but you might be like this type of person where you go to work, you go to the gym, you go pick up some groceries, you come home to the dog, and you go to bed. And it's rinse, wash, repeat every single day. And then the weekends, maybe you hang out with friends, maybe you go get groceries, maybe you watch some TV or play games or do whatever, but it's not really focusing on this feminine. And it's not necessarily focusing on dating. Those of you singles, the divine masculine, if you're really, I want to say if you're trying to attract a partner, there's something that's going to need to change or shift in your life regarding your habits or your daily life or your routine. For some of you, this masculine has a very solid routine that is unchanging, that does not change, and maybe has never changed. And getting this masculine to change is sort of going to be something short of a miracle, okay? In the sense that, are they going to change their job schedule? No. Are they going to change their workout routine? No. Are they going to make extra time in their day for you? Probably not. They just have a very set, rigid schedule, or they have a really set, rigid life, and they're not making time for the feminine here. And there needs to be some flexibility, I have to say, from the masculine in order for the feminine to, I want to say, kind of like maybe calm down. It feels like the feminine needs something from the masculine as far as flexibility. And the masculine really needs to check in to the feminine in a way that's healthy. I also feel like for some of you, those of you who have a partnership where there's several pets, I feel there's a lot of distracting elements here. But I also feel like there's a lack of connection as far as, responsibilities, shared responsibilities. Like, why is this masculine focusing only on the pets, on the animals, and she's not? Like, there needs to be kind of maybe more shared responsibilities that's fair, or that's, it feels like the masculine has his own set of responsibilities, but it's not equal to what this feminine has. Or it also feels like the feminine might be, and I'm just saying, a little bit kind of like expecting more from this masculine when their plate is already full, when they just have too much going on, when they cannot do anything really for the feminine at this time, or be supportive or do what the feminine wants. The question is the feminine being realistic? Is the feminine being are there expectations from the feminine, but to the masculine that are not realistic, that are just kind of maybe causing unnecessary conflict or unnecessary drama? Or is there a conversation even between the two where there's a split sense of shared responsibilities and being on the same page? It feels like it feels like this masculine honestly would continue on in this kind of snow globe, in his own bubble, in his own world, without any change. And he'd be happy, and there are happy singles, there's happy masculines out there that are not going to date. They don't want to date. Their light is not on. So the question I have for the feminine is, are you expecting this masculine to suddenly turn their light on and be interested, or suddenly change their routine, or suddenly make room in their life for you? Is that a realistic expectation? Because it feels like the masculine really could go on in this way for an indefinite period of time. Unless this masculine's light is on, where they're like, yeah, they want the feminine, they're not necessarily going to do the work. It feels like the feminine's doing a lot of work and the masculine isn't. And it's just, I can see where the feminine might be really frustrated with the masculine at this time. Like, she might really, and I have to say this, be like, I'm just going to break something so he gets it. But it's just like, with this kind of masculine, it's almost like there's no way to get through to this masculine. Like, there's no, like, I hate to say that. He is in his own world. So, like, getting through to him is going to be really hard. I can see why this might be a frustrating reading. But what I would do, honestly, for the feminines is I would really, really start manifesting the positive and really, like, detach from the masculine. And if they get a clue in time, they get a clue. But I don't necessarily feel like they're going to. I feel like the masculine is going through things in his own sense of time and timing. So my suggestion would be not to wait for this masculine. Okay, I think I'm going to leave off here. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. I'll be back again for more, so stay tuned. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. Bye, guys.